breeders from across the nation send their breeding lines that they are interested in considering for variety release to 10 different locations across the nation, just so that we can see how those lines perform in different regions of the country, and also how they perform against each other. So on the right here is the Uniform Peanut Performance Test for this location. This year we had 15 entries and 2 checks. The checks are Bailey for Virginias and Georgia 06G for runners. Those are the 2 that are most widely grown across the nation, so those are the ones that are used in every test. So there are 3 different breeding lines from Georgia, 3 from North Carolina, 3 from Texas, and 1 of mine in there. And then I've got 8 breeding lines in there that are not part of the national test, but are just my local options. We also have controls of Lariat, Olay, Jupiter, and Contender in there. So that's the Uniform Performance Test. This is the peanut variety trial. This test is conducted in 3 different locations across the state. This location, and then we have a test plot on Les Crawl's land up in Weatherford, and on Jody White's land down in Davidson. The same entries are at each location, and basically this is just a performance test. We treat these plots, or these plots are managed just like they would be in any farmer's field, and so they're treated for all diseases. And so what we're really doing is looking to see how these lines perform against each other. So in this test, we've got 8 Spanish, 16 runners, 11 of which are new breeding lines, the advanced breeding lines that we're looking at for performance against currently grown cultivars, and 16 Virginias, 7 of which are experimental lines. So if you want to get out and look around at these, you're welcome to. We've got 1 advanced runner line that I am considering for release, but there's a few more things I need to do to make sure that it stands up to disease as well as Lariat. And it's got to have the yield and grade that Lariat does on a consistent basis. I won't release anything that's not as good as what you already grow, unless it has an alternate attribute that someone would be looking for. These are just 2 of the studies that I have out here on this station. I also have a study that I've had out here for 3 years. This will be the 4th year, on the effect of the hyoleic trait on seed germination. If some of you might remember that we've had a little bit of an issue sometimes with hyoleic cultivars not germinating at top-notch condition. You know, when you get ready to, when you plant them, especially if you plant them next to something that's not hyoleic, you're going to definitely notice a difference. We've been looking at the effect of that trait on seed germination. This will be the 4th year, and I think that we are seeing some effect of the trait. Doesn't mean that those seed are not going to germinate, because they will. They just take a little bit longer to get there. So we have also taken seed out of the field and put them on what's called a gradient table, where we take all the environmental factors out, and we're only looking at the effect of the hyoleic trait on the seed, because we have sister lines that are not hyoleic, so they are the same in genetic background, and the only way they differ is the hyoleic trait. And we see a definite lag in germination for the hyoleic varieties. I'm hoping that these results, once we get them confirmed and published, we might even be able to influence the way testing is done at the state level, so that you're not buying seed that's rated at some kind of a sub-level germination rate, whenever the only reason it's rated that way is because it's hyoleic. So we had this trouble with Red River Runner. I haven't heard as much complaints about some of the other lines or cultivars that we've released, but we definitely see a lag, and it's definitely a cross-market type too. It's not just in runners, it's in Virginias, it's in Valencias and Spanish. So the other trials I have out here, I've got a breeding nursery where I'm looking at progeny, from crosses that we've made to introduce new traits into cultivars that we want to develop. So those include, we've got some that are have some resistance to leaf spot. We've got some that are resistant to nematodes, or supposed to be. They have the trait for it. Some that are resistant to tomato spotted wilt. So, but they're at very, very early stages of development. Um, and that's why we never stop over there, because they're really kind of ugly babies right now. They don't look very good.